Okay, good afternoon, everyone. On behalf of Women and Young Members Excellence Committee of ICAI, it's my pleasure to welcome you all to Yashashwini and Idol Series 53. Yashashwini and Idol is a Wednesday series of programs conducted by WYMEC of the Women CAs and by the Women CAs. This series is an extension of Sky High Symposium, which concludes its 100 episodes. It is one of the committee's initiatives to not only disseminate information to women members on technical updation and non technical skills, but also to empower and inspire women members to come at the forefront and realize their verbal skills at public forum. So we are really grateful to have this from ICAI. And with this, today I would like to invite CA Rupal Haria for her session, and we are very grateful that we have her today with us. And with this, I would like to introduce her. Thank you, ICAI, for giving me the opportunity to introduce CA Rupal Haria. CA Rupal Haria, FCA, is a seasoned chartered accountant with over 20 years of experience in taxation, auditing, TDS, and indirect taxes. She is a partner at a leading CA firm and an independent director on the boards of two listed and one private company. A passionate trainer and speaker, she has trained about 300 plus income tax officers and conducted sessions for ICAI, corporates, and academic institutions across India. With this, I'd like to welcome CA Rupal Haria for the session ahead. And welcome, ma'am, and over to you. Thank you.
Uh, Thank you, Kimi. Uh, am I audible?
Yes, yes, ma'am,
Yes,
you're
ma'am.
on.
Yeah, my video is paused again. I think so. I'm facing this technical issue. So, warm welcome to all. And first of all, thank you to our chairman, CA Preeti Savla ma'am, vice chairman Patwa sir, and entire team of WIMEC. And I extend my warm welcome to all my virtual fellow members who are sitting here. And we are here to start with our today's topic decoding recent amendment and provision in TDS and TCS. So let me share my PPT and then we can start with it. Just one check. This slide is visible on the screen.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. So we are coming to our today's topic, decoding the latest amendments in TDS and TCS. As we have seen since TDS is started, and we can see the section in the TDS, like it starts with 192, 193, and then 194 is a, like we can say it's a Pandora of the section, right? So you can see the alphabet have 26 letters. So 194A, it with it starts, and when it comes Finance Bill 20,
Rupal ma'am, you are not audible, ma'am. मैडम
am
को
I
होल्ड कर
connected?
लो ये मैम you are not audible, ma'am, for
Can
few
anyone
seconds.
reply me?
Yes, ma'am, you were not audible
Yeah,
for
yeah,
few seconds.
not hearing, na? 1 minute.
Yeah.
Um, am I audible to all of you?
Yeah. Yes,
Yeah,
ma'am.
ma'am,
Right now,
just,
yeah.
yeah. Ruchi ma'am, technical team and all my participants, I am excused for technical glitches I am facing. Just give me 1 minute, I'll switch over my machine. And ma'am, you have to give me sharing rights with this login. I'll log out with this. Just give me. I'm extremely sorry for this.
I ask, please give the login. Please give the right to
Yeah,
ma'am.
yeah. Please give me login to this sharing rights. Yeah, yeah. I can
Shri
share the
madam क्या
screen.
कर रही
Yeah,
है?
1 minute. I'll share the screen in 1 minute. I'm extremely sorry, my participants. To be, please be with me. Fine.
Yes, ma'am.
I'll convert into the PPT mode and then we can. Yeah. Yeah. So I was on the this TDS when it was we can say it keeps on toes not only chartered accountants, professionals, but stakeholders and especially accountants. Many time all of a sudden when we are a practicing chartered accountant and when new section comes or they come across any new kind of the invoice or payment, because now there are more of the services we are getting online services, so there is a confusion and some no ambiguity arise that कौन सा section applicable होगा, and many times service provider says that do not deduct the TDS. So these are the whole all the stories rotating behind and amongst the TDS. So today it is sometimes we feel it is a exhausting as auditing the accounts of the company, and sometimes seems to be that proper accounting is been not done, but it is the most important part of our financial statement. So let's explore and learn more about the what are the recent developments and amendments without any deduction to your enthusiasm. So let's start the journey, my friends. So just when we come to this any of the topic, just brief history about it. When we see the statistic about the tax collection, direct tax collection, revenue collection, TDS plays 30 to 40% role. Advanced tax, asset tax, or direct tax, whatever we are paying. So it's a really, we can say it's a big, not a minuscule amount, it's a big amount. And then people are treating it as an indirect tax also. When we talk about indirect tax, what comes to our mind? Only GST, right? But when I'm providing any service to my client, then at the time of payment, my client is paying on behalf of me that tax. So in that way, indirectly, he is paying for me. So people, most of the people are treating it as a what? Indirect tax. Tax deducted at source provisions are governed. You all know about it, Chapter 17 of the Income Tax Act. And tax deducted at the source provisions by Income Tax Act, by large, it was started. Now, this is the first beginning section. Here, though our topic name is recent amendment and provision in section all TDS section, there are no changes in section 192. Okay, but I have purposely taken it because there are many things revolving around it and it is a starting section. So first I will touch up few points of section 192. Then we will go one by one other sections where few changes have come. Okay. And some new section is also introduced. So for salary, you all of know first important thing there should be when you are deducting tax under section 192, there should be relationship between what relation should exist, employer and employee. So this is one criteria which is helping us to decide to select the section 192. Second thing, in this section 192, likewise in other sections in the lineup of 194, 193, some TDS rate has been prescribed by the Income Tax Act in that particular section. Here, the rate is not prescribed. So, how we do all the calculations? We know that what are the normal tax rate prevailing, and now over and above that, what other things we are considering? We are considering whether employees following new regime or old regime. So many times, in both regime working have been done. Then what is which is more beneficial to the assessee, to our employee? On the basis of this, tax amount has been decided. Okay. So this is more point we will see about it. Um, so generally what it happens, whatever X amount of the tax decided divided by 12. Okay. This is the simple thing. Okay. Now what is one more thing I would like to discuss with you? If the salary is revised between the year, then what are about the TDS on bonus, leave encashment, and all these things? So here it is a simple, when salary revise, you have to revise your working for the TDS amount, and leave encashment, it is a, or bonus, it is a one time phenomena. So at the time of the payment, again you have to add back to the amount and you have to calculate your TDS. Now some few other things, uh, if he is employed with two different employee, or he has left the old job and he has joined the new job. So here how you will calculate the TDS. See here, any thumb rule, it is not prescribed. He has a liberty at the same time simultaneously when he's working with two different employer. He can provide detail to that particular, say for example, employer A and B. So he can provide to employer A detail of B also, and to B he can provide salary income he is getting from A also. But here, what one has to take care while determining the figure of the TDS, say by, for example, employer A, he has to deduct if he has been provided detail of both the salary, then he has to deduct what amount of TDS deducted by B. Otherwise, generally, it is a simple. If we can say that employer A, you deduct the tax as per the amount you are paying me and what it is coming, and to B, whatever salary is getting from employer B, and he can do it. And these also applicable to other sources of income. Okay. So whether it is required for an employer to provide, sorry, for an employee to provide the detail of other sources of income, this is also optional. So if employee is getting salary, say from house property, capital gain, then it is his liability to make the payment of taxes on it. So he may make payment of taxes in the form of advance tax at the time of calculating the quarter, whichever is following for the payment of advance tax due date. Or if he is providing detail to employer of all of his sources of income, then accordingly entire total taxable income will be calculated, and on the basis of that TDS can be deducted. Now here I have taken in the first para on the screen, if you can see, if he incurs any losses. See, regarding all of you must be aware about it, that only the losses from house property income can be adjusted against salary income. That is also upper cap has been prescribed up to rupees 2 lakh rupees. Okay. So this thing he can provide to his employer, so that up to see if loss is more than 2 lakh rupees, say 4 lakh rupees, then up to 2 lakh rupees, that set off of house property loss from the salary income is allowed, and from the balance amount, whatever tax liability comes, tax will be calculated. Okay. Till now, all are okay. Fine. This second part is self-explanatory. So only the rebate, it's relating to rebate. So employee has to give the detail and he has to fill the formality form 10E, and all these things have been provided here. Now here I have taken three cases. One I'm just discussing in detail. Then second and third part, we will just touch upon it. Okay. So let's read the first case study. Mr. Tony is resident Indian. He has been offered job in India from a company located in USA. He has to do his work from India only. He has been paid salary in USD, and salary is transferred in his Indian saving bank account. The company is not having any branch or place of business in India. Hence, company is not deducting any TDS on salary paid to Mr. Tony. Whether company is required to obtain PAN and TAN and pay TDS on salary paid to Mr. Tony. See, this I'm giving for you floor opening, but I think so. I will be not able to communicate with you all and do chat with you all. You can write it in the chat box, your opinion, your conclusion to this case study which we have taken. Here, our final question is whether that foreign company which is located in USA not having any branch or place of business in India is required to apply for PAN and TEN. That is first part of our question. And second question, whether foreign company who is paying salary to Mr. Tony is liable to deduct TDS. Okay. So I request my all of my participants to leave your answer in the chat box. And meanwhile, I am also throwing light on what will be your reply, whether he is liable or not. So, first of all, we will dissect our entire case study. First of all, see in the first line, it is mentioned Mr. Tony is resident in India. So, underline word resident. So, it is it is proved Tony is resident. So, whatever income, global income earned by Mr. Tony, it will be liable and he has to offer for tax in India. So, under section 5, subsection 1C. Second thing, is US company liable to deduct TDS? Yes. Now, it is said under section 192, subsection 1. Even foreign company, they are making payment in the form of salary to any Indian resident, they are liable to deduct TDS. Okay. Now, third part. Is US company obtain PAN number? If you will go through section 139A, subsection 1, it speaks about PAN filing of return. In that, it has been prescribed that foreign company should obtain PAN number. Okay. Now, what about TAN number? Yes, foreign company also should apply for TAN number, tax deduction account number, section 203A. Okay. Now, coming to our question part. Is company liable to this obtaining PAN number, TAN number? You also might be feeling, see, company is a totally foreign company. They are not having any place of business or address in the India. Then also whether they are liable to have their PAN number apply for PAN and TAN? Yes. Presence in India is not required if TDS liability, for TDS liability, if the service to that foreign company is rendered from India. Getting my point? I'll repeat and I'll come again to this point that if service is rendered in India, Mr. Tony, see, it has been given here that he has been paid salary and he has been offered job in India. So he has been offered a job in India. So that is also bypass and company is required to apply for PAN and TAN number. Okay. Now, can non-deduction attract the penalty? So now we have come to the conclusion that company should have obtained PAN and TAN and then company should deduct TDS. And yes, for non-compliance of TDS, they are liable to for interest and penalty also. I hope this is clear to everyone. I'll just pause for 1 second, half a minute, and all of you just go through it once again. And if you agree with me or not, if you have any other opinion to it, you can write it in the chat box. Okay. So this is about taxation of salary income when service is offered by resident from India to foreign company. Okay. Now I'm coming to second and third part. Second and third part I'll leave up to you. If time will permit, we will discuss in detail about it. In FY 24-25, from salary of Miss Anita, company has deducted excess TDS and informed Miss Anita to claim refund of the same in her income tax return. Miss Anita has requested to adjust the excess in subsequent years. Tax deducted at source of FY 25-26. Can company do this? See now, if you will see TDS table which is given in income tax return, just I'm giving you hint how you will think and come to the conclusion. I'm just leaving this query open here for all of you to solve. Then at the end, if time will permit, we will discuss in detail about it. Mr. Rahul is a medical student and he has to serve his internship to Sion Hospital. Sion Hospital has agreed to pay him monthly internship of amount of rupees 60,000 in FY 24-25. Whether hospital word is missing here. Whether Sion Hospital is required to deduct TDS on the same as annual amount exceeds 7,20,000. See, first of all, amount is exceeding below the taxable limit. Either you take new regime or old regime, 3 lakh or 2,50,000 rupees, right, friends? Second thing, it is not scholarship. Okay. Now, third point, you may think whether this internship stipend paid, whether we will be converting as a relationship of employer and employee. Now here only we can think about two TDS section will hit, either 192 or 194J. Now Rahul is a medical student, so he is not yet any professional doctor or something in that category. So 194J is for professional services paid. So here, for paying the internship stipend, Sion Hospital has to deduct TDS under section 192. Okay. So this was my logical thinking. You can also write down your answer in the chat box. I request all of you to be participative. So this session will be interactive for all of us. Okay. And about this, Miss Anita's query also, purposely I have kept it open for you all. You can write it down in the chat box or you can solve and keep up with you also. Fine. Till now, it is going good. Okay. Now proceed further. Section 193. Now, what I have done, I have not given tabular format. What are the changes? What are the changes in as per the threshold limits, TDS rate, or which sections threshold limit have changed? I have taken slide wise, and wherever those changes are there, I have taken in the blue ink and I have underlined it. So simultaneously, we will discuss about it. Okay. So it is for TDS to be deducted on interest provided on securities. So securities mainly includes what? Government securities or debentures. Rate of deduction is 10%. And when it will be deducted, threshold limit is given rupees 10,000 previously. So before 1st April 2025, threshold limit was rupees 5,000. So here minor changes to threshold limit from 5,000 to rupees 10,000 under section 193. Okay. Now, TDS deducted at source not to be deducted if interest received from. So, what these are the government security we are talking about, friends. Now, rates I have given you, and mainly it includes securities and debenture bonds of the government. But there are certain categories which I have mentioned on this slide. On this, TDS is not applicable. Okay. So I'll take out a few names. List is big. 7-year National Savings Certificate, National Development Bonds, debenture issued by Institute PSU, Cooperative Land Development Bank, as notified by central government. So all these lists which you are viewing on the screen, on this, if assessee is getting interest from the investment on this type of the securities, TDS is not applicable under section 193. Okay, clear? I'm not going fast. I hope you all are getting and coping up with me. Section 193. The list is continuation of the not deduction. Now, who are not liable to deduct the TDS? Interest payable to LIC, GIC in respect of any securities owned by it or on which he has full beneficial interest. Interest payable to business trust in respect of any securities by a special purpose vehicle referred to in the explanation clause 23FC of section 10. So if these two categories, which are on the left hand side, LIC, GIC, business trust, and they have invested in the government securities, so on their investment, TDS will not be deducted. Clear? TDS under section 194 on dividend. Okay. Sorry, here S is missing. Certain typo errors are there. Please bear with me. See, now new threshold limit is rupees 10,000 from 1st April 2025. I have mentioned all the amendments which are applicable from 1st April 2025. See, in between few amendments when Finance Act 24 was introduced, Finance Bill, few amendments have come from 1st October 24 also. But seeing the time constraint, I have taken only those amendments. I have not gone 6 months back, which are applicable from 1st April 2025. Okay, my friends. So previously, threshold limit was 5,000. And now for in the case of individual SSC, threshold limit is rupees 10,000. Again, the same thing, no tax deducted at source to be deducted for dividend paid to whom? LIC, GIC and the business trust. Okay. And apart from these two category, if any other person as may be notified by the central government in the official gazette in this behalf, so and time to time if they add any other category in this list, then for dividend income which GIC, LIC or business trust which they are receiving, government dividend on that dividend which they are earning, TDS will not be deducted. Okay. Now about the NRI. For dividend paid to NRI, whether TDS deducted under section at the rate of 10% or 31.40%. I just want to make this interactive because it is a really interesting one-liner question is there, but it's a really interesting. And I humbly request all my participants, my fellow members who are sitting here with on the virtual platform, kindly note down in your notebook or you write down your answer in the chat box. Okay. So now coming to here 10% or 31.40%. See, now rate has been prescribed 10%. So for NRI also it is prescribed 10%. Okay. So NRI also it is prescribed 10%. But there are certain conditions which NRI should fulfill to eligible to deduct TDS at the rate of 10%. So first thing, NRI should provide TRC. What is TRC? Tax Residential Certificate. Second, he should fill form number 10F, F for flag. Okay. So these two things, if he is fulfilling, then TDS rate applicable would be under section 194, 10%. Second thing, we need to check company who is deducting dividend, and if he has given all the documents and all the required facts, then DTAA agreement between the country where he is residing and in our country. For example, India and London, India and Germany, India and USA. So in the basis of that agreement also, certain conditions have been specified, then 10% rate will be applicable or 31.40% rate will be applicable. So grossing up and everything will be done. That formula has been given to it. Okay. So this was about dividend income which our NRI are earning. TDS on interest other than interest on securities. So which section is now? It's a commonly used section. Yes. So 194A. So interest on securities, it is covered under section 193. So all those securities which are not covered under section 193 is coming under the ambit of section 194A. Okay. So let's see what are the changes. I have given here table. Just try to read here. 1 minute. See here, interest paid by, interest paid to, then the limits. Here the threshold limit given, and here the rate of interest is given. Okay, just 1 minute. Just 1 minute, friends. TDS applicable on total interest, no TDS, so threshold limit. Third column heading, and then TDS rate. So here the rates and threshold limit is same. So let me tell you the category first. So it will be faster for us to read this entire table. Which deductor are covered? Banking company, cooperative bank, and post office. And last category, any other person. Okay, so four categories we are talking about. Who had deductor under section 194A. Now deductee. In the deductee, we have taken here two categories. Senior citizen, non-senior citizen. Now I am coming to the threshold limit. So for banking company, cooperative bank, and post office. For senior citizen, threshold limit earlier it was 50,000 rupees. From 1st April 2025, threshold limit is they have made it up to rupees 1 lakh. So new threshold limit under section 194A is rupees 1 lakh for senior citizen. So वो इसमें FD बैंक account interest is covered, post office saving certificate interest, cooperative society you have invested. So for senior citizen, threshold limit from 50,000 rupees, straight away it has been doubled to rupees 1 lakh. If amount is exceeding 1 lakh rupees, then TDS rate is 10%. So that rate is remaining same. Only the change is in the threshold limit. Now coming to non-senior citizen. So again, three category of the deductor which we have spoken right now. Previously, threshold limit was rupees 40,000. Now that limit, they have minuscule amount may increase. They have done it. From 40, they have done it 50,000 rupees. So up to 50,000 rupees, if you are a non-senior citizen, assessee is a non-senior citizen, earning any type of the interest from this category of the deductor, which we have discussed right now, then up to 40,000, 50,000, no TDS. Above 50,000, again rate is same, 10%. Comfortable? Now coming to last category. Any other category? So here limit is same for a senior citizen. Up to 50,000 is a threshold limit. And for non-senior citizen, threshold limit is up to rupees 10,000. And TDS rate is 10%. Clear? So this is what simplifying we can say that for senior citizen, they have made it more beneficial, double the threshold limit up to 1 lakh rupees. So this is what welcoming change we can appreciate from our finance minister team. Now TDS interest other than interest on securities. So in the above table, it's generally the same thing I have mentioned here in the sentence format, which we have I have explained you right now, the particular table. So you can see here. Okay. Next. Again, TDS deducted at source will not be deductible in the following cases. Where I'll read a few things. Interest paid to banks to which the banking regulator. Just 1 minute, I'll plug in my laptop because I've changed the laptop. Give me 1 minute, friends. Okay. So sorry for disturbance. Interest paid to banks. So interest paid to cooperative banks also, to which Banking Regulation Act applies interest paid to cooperative bank. Now, second thing, interest paid to financial corporation established by or under central, state or provincial act. So interest paid to LIC, interest paid to UTI, interest paid to any company or cooperative society engaged in insurance business. So all this type of the payment TDS is not applicable. Now I have seen interest paid by a firm to partner of the firm. So here also refer section 194T. We are coming to section 194T. A lot many discussion can happen because it is a new questions and new queries are there. So let's see how we will work on this financial year under this for this particular section. So just park over here. We will come to 194T. Interest paid by a cooperative society other than a cooperative bank to its member, provided cooperative society's gross receipt not exceed rupees 50 crore in immediately previous year and the interest amount to the payer does not exceed rupees 50,000 and in case of senior citizen and rupees 40,000 in case of non-senior citizen. So here threshold is same, but they have given that for cooperative society, what is the income of the cooperative society in the previous financial year. So we are talking about 25-26 financial year. So if you are checking for the cooperative society, you have to check this gross receipt for financial year 24-25. Okay. TDS on insurance commission. There are minor changes are there in this limit threshold limit changes there. So it is covered under section 194D. Okay. So insurance company make the TDS while making payment of commission to the insurance agent. Okay. So there are various types of the commissions are available at the time of new business, renewal of the policy and so on. Here previously threshold limit was rupees 15,000 up to 15,000 if commission is there in particular financial year, then no need to deduct the TDS. Threshold has been minor increase up to rupees 20,000. Okay. Just a last line for your no, to knowledge purpose. TDS rate from 1st October 2024, as you we all know, commission rate have been reduced under section 194H also. So here also same from 1st October 2024 TDS rate is 2%, whereas earlier it was 5%. So 194D is particularly solely dealing with the TDS paid by insurance company to their insurance agent. Okay, so minor changes there. Now coming to 194B, TDS from winning from lottery, crossword puzzles and so on. Okay, so here also they have not changed the threshold limit, but certain wordings are there. So when you come across this type of the transaction or your client is having any this kind of the income in this financial year, see here different types of the income sourcing activities are mentioned. Now I'm straight away coming to the change part, amendment part. Okay. So we will read second two lines of the screen. Will be liable for TDS and deduction rate is 30%. So that we all are aware about it. आपको पता होगा शायद. And where the amount exceed rupees 10,000. So threshold limit is what? Rupees 10,000. TDS rate is what? 30%. Now keep it in your mind that 10,000 rupees. Now what are the changes? With effect from 1st April 2025, limit of 10,000 to be considered for single transaction instead of aggregate. So let's take one example. Mr. Karan Kapoor, he has won the lottery and he received a lottery prize of rupees 40,000. Crossword puzzle में भी उसको 50,000 rupees prize मिला and card game में he got again 50,000 rupees. Now, what changes we have read right now? So when he will offer his income for the taxation, and when the lottery company will deduct the TDS, और उसका it is increasing, वो 10,000 का limit है, that 3 different transactions are there. So it has to be considered for 10,000 rupees for one particular transaction. So lottery पे भी 10,000 threshold will be applicable, crossword पे भी 10,000 will be applicable, and card games पे भी 10,000 will be applicable. Okay. Now TDS on commission on sale of lottery tickets, same I have continued here. Or TDS deducted at source to be deducted by lottery company while providing or paying commission to their lottery selling agents. So this is 194D, insurance company giving commission to insurance agent. 194G, lottery company giving commission to their selling agent. Okay. So commission, remuneration, price, by what if name it is called, it will be covered under section 194G. जैसे salary में one point I wanted to discuss with you all, but you might be aware about it also. When you get salary from one particular employer, say employer A is giving salary to Mr. B. B is a employee. Sorry, I'm switching over to 192, but it is related, important to discuss. Now, for example, during his this period, he is receiving any kind of the commission or any no, commission or any compensation or any bonus which is, or professional, वो professional भी है, so he is giving professional consultancy also, but he is on the payroll, he is having that relationship by employer and employee. So whatever amount he received, commission, professional fee, or whatever, some appreciation bonus, whatever, it will be treated as a part of the salary and TDS will be deducted under section 192. Abhi professional hai to not 194J. Similarly, here also, when selling agent is receiving commission, remuneration, price, whatever kind of the amount he is receiving from lottery company, it will be covered under section 194G. Threshold limit is what? It is 15,000, no TDS to be deducted if commission amount during the year is less than 15,000. Now this threshold limit from 1st April, it has increased to 20,000 rupees. Okay. And TDS applicable rate, no change in it, 2% on that commission. Okay. Now this is most popular section. We frequently come across 194H. Okay. Commission or brokerage paid by any person except individual, any HUF, to any person. Okay. So insurance commission and commission for lottery tickets, we have already covered in D and G. So other than any commission, it will come under 194H. TDS rate is 2%. TDS to be deducted at the time of credit of such commission in the books or at the time of payment, whichever is earlier. Arey, you will feel why I have taken this statement. This is a basic TDS rule. When we are learning about TDS, credited or paid, whichever is earlier. But now come to the second last para of the screen. See now, if a bill received from a commission agent on 1st October 2024 or thereafter for work done for the period of 1st April 2024 to 30th September 2024. At what rate TDS should be deducted? 2% or 5%? Okay, now you tell me. See, service has been provided from 1st April to 30th September. TDS rate changed from 5% to 2% when on 1st October. So credited or paid, whichever is earlier, payment detail is not given. So assuming to be payment has not been done. Now when the bill has been received, credit entry will be passed. So whatever rate prevailing on 1st October, that is 2%. So TDS to be deducted at the rate of 2% and not at the rate of 5%. This 5% rate was prevailing when actual TDS period, commission period is, but invoice is raised after 1st October. So at that time, commission TDS rate prevailing is 2%. So TDS to be deducted at the rate of 2%. And threshold limit has been increased from 15,000 to rupees 20,000 rupees. Okay. And last line is a self-explanatory. You can read it. Now coming to 194I. Okay. Rent. It was rent bifurcated in two different categories. Rent for use of land or building, that includes factory building or any type of the rent or building. And secondly, for plant, machinery, furniture, fittings, and etc., which we have taken on rent. Rate of TDS is for plant and machinery use 2%. For land and building, it is 10%. Threshold limit, earlier here major changes is there. It was earlier 2,40,000 per annum. So TDS should not be deducted if the rent or aggregate of the rent of above type of transactions to a particular person does not exceeds rupees 2,40,000 in a year. So here most important word underline कौन सा आपको करना है? Aggregate. Now, why limit they have given in the two different way? See, earlier limit which I have given you 5,000 for senior citizen, 50,000 to 1 lakh. But here specifically they have given limit increased to rupees 50,000 per month from 1st April 2025, totaling to rupees 6 lakhs per annum. Okay. So they have specified monthly limit and total aggregate limit also. So if you come and correlate this with section 194C, if the single payment is exceeding 30,000 rupees, then you have to deduct the TDS. But aggregating limit is 1 lakh for the entire year. Getting my point? So it will be easier for you to understand these changes. Okay. 50,000 per month and totaling aggregate of 6 lakhs per annum. Okay. Now here, this is the introduced in the Finance Bill 2023, or I think so, 2023, when, because if HUF or individual also come under the ambit of deductor as a for TDS, if their immediate previous year turnover is more than 1 crore, and if they are professional service provider, their professional gross receipt is rupees 50 lakhs or more, then they are also liable to obtain 10 number and they are also liable to deduct the TDS. Okay. And this explanation I have put in the one slide only, but for 194H also it will be applicable. 194C will also applicable. This acid test is for whether individual assessee to whom tax audit is not applicable. Professional service provider who is a proprietor also, tax audit applicable अगर आपको नहीं है, but if you are coming and fulfilling this condition, you are liable to deduct the TDS. Okay. And these are the earlier changes, not from 1st April 2025. Now coming to 194K, TDS on units of mutual fund, only the minor changes there. Threshold limit earlier it was 5,000, from 1st April it is 10,000. Now TDS payment of compensation on acquisition of certain immovable property, section 194LA. Okay. So here also threshold limit has changed. A person who pays compensation to a resident for the compulsory acquisition of immovable property, excluding agricultural land, under any law is required to deduct TDS. Earlier per annum threshold was rupees 2,50,000. Now it is per annum 5 lakh rupees. Okay. TDS on payment to partners by partnership firm under section 194T. So now this is the new section inserted in the Finance Bill 2025. So let me read all this the line and we will discuss a few scenarios because we will also find solution for it, that how the in reality in my books when partner is withdrawing, how and when and what on what amount I have to deduct the TDS. Okay. So first, TDS to be deducted on payment to partners. Nature of payment includes salary, remuneration, commission, interest on capital, interest on loan, bonus. So all these part is covered. So what is not covered? Withdrawal by the partners. So partners who is withdrawing for his personal thing is taking home profit, not covering under this, but only simple withdrawal. Okay. Threshold aggregate limit is what? Per, see what is the minuscule threshold limit, you can see this. So this is how the things have TDS indirectly we are trapping in this no we can say that everywhere now TDS is interwoven when we are doing business. Okay, you agree with me? I think so. Yes friends, will you agree with me or not? So aggregate payments to partners in a financial year exceed rupees 20,000. 20,000 is a very small amount. Otherwise, they should not have given only that threshold limit. And rate of TDS also very high. It's a 10%. So you will file your in April, May, June, every time I will do withdrawal. And when April, July 26 or September 26 will come, I'm thinking as if I am a partner, I will file my income tax return and that time I will utilize that TDS amount. So how much my personal working capital is getting blocked, getting it. So this is what how we have to think when we are interpreting new section. Now coming to this practical difficulty. So these are the things now very logical no discussion will go on and all. So I have noted down certain things which have come to my mind. A partner's remuneration withdrawal from a firm depends on various factors such as cash flow requirements, tax implications, etc. In many cases, the withdrawal is on an ad hoc basis rather than structured one. Generally, it is जब family business partnership is there. So as and when fund is required, the withdrawal will be done. Okay. And systematic कब होता है? वो monthly expenses, household expenses, then fund will transfer to their personal account. Yes. Now the partners may need to rationalize their withdrawals from firm as the withdrawal will entail a TDS at the rate of 10%. So now they have to be so mindful कि see पहले क्या था, कुछ भी था तो withdrawal from partners का we pass that entry in that particular account. But now whether I'm withdrawing this, then it will fall under which heading? If it will fall in that heading, TDS will trigger. So they have to be mindful, they have to structure way, rationalize and plan their withdrawal. But you only say whether it is possible in the practical scenario. We never ever know when the fund is required. Yes, the remuneration of the second point of the partner always depends on the profitability of the firm, which can be done once books are closed. Okay. Even after 31st March, also many outstanding entries, many prepaid expenses, some compliance payment like a GST, TDS. Agar 31st March we have passed journal entry for the TDS in the books of account, we may make payment by 30th April. So there are various types of closing entries we are doing to close our particular books of account. Okay. Then so to deduct the once the books and once you will come to the remuneration part, when you will close your books of account, you will find out your profitability. Yes. So to deduct the TDS on partner's remuneration for the year ended on 31st March, the books of accounts of the firm may need to be closed before the said period. Okay. So now see previously there was not an issue, but now the TDS is triggered Otherwise, you will be ended up by late payment of TDS. By agar you have to revise your TDS return, you have to pay interest on that TDS. Then you have to pay interest on non-deduction of TDS, non-payment of TDS. So lots many things are coming here. Tax deducted at source is not applicable on repayment of capital account balance. So these are the few points I have noted here. But when we will put this concept in actual, lot many other things will come in the picture and we have to find out the solution for it. Whether to deduct TDS on each withdrawal by the partner. So how you will bifurcate, this is my personal, this is interest I am withdrawing, this is profit part I am withdrawing, this is I am withdrawing remuneration. Will it mean the withdrawal made till that time are capital withdrawals? Because they have said that capital withdrawal will not impacted and come under the ambit of 194T. So it is really difficult, my dear friends. If withdrawals are more than the capital balance and my balance will go negative, then what? So all these queries we have to yet to find out solution for it. Okay. You may have another thought also. You can write down in the chat box. If we could have communicated right now interactive, then you could have also given some input to me regarding this. There are minor changes in TCS. TCS amendments, I'm quickly go through it. Increased threshold limit, liberalized remittance scheme, LRS, and foreign tour packages. Previously, it was 7 lakh rupees, and now the limit has come to 10 lakh rupees. No TCS on education remittances. TCS removed for education related remittances funded by loans from recognized financial institution. Okay, so simply foreign tour travels also now when you are taking tour package from your tour guide or tour operator, 7 lakhs ka limit they have done 10 lakhs. TCS amendment. This is also from my end. It's a really, really welcoming change because I know I thank to chairman of this WIMEC committee when 194Q came, I have given a lecture on this platform also. And that time only we were all fraternity member were saying there will be double deduction of tax. Because 194Q is deducting TDS on purchase. 206C1H is for deducting on sales. And many times both were deducting TDS. And there were a no blockage of working capital. Again, you have to take refund when you are filing return of income, and lot many practical difficulty was there in implementing this. So I really welcome this amendment, removal of TCS on sale of goods. So section 206C1H is been omitted. So it has been omitted. So henceforth now seller will not collect TCS on sale of goods. So only 194Q will prevail. So 194Q is for TDS on purchase of goods, reducing compliance burden and preventing double taxation. So this is like der aaye durast aaye. Okay na? Reduces TCS rates for forest produces, TCS rates for timber and other forest produce. It has been reduced to 2%. Previously, it was 2.5%. Okay. See, still I have time or should I stop here? This is the only two slide I have taken for 195. Coordinator, can you tell me? Coordinator? Coordinator, can you tell me? Still I have time to go? Yes? Okay, fine. Till we get answer from them. We can, because this is section 195 is really important section, my friends. TDS on other sums. Yeah. Anyone? Can I take 5 minutes more or my time is over? Okay, fine. Any person, see now, this is TDS on other sums payment to NRI. So any person who makes any payment other than salary or interest referred to in sections 194 LB, LC and LD that is taxable in India to a non-resident must deduct tax under this section. First of all, let me tell you there are no any amendment or changes in section 195. But when I have come across and many professional group also, 195 section is always talk of the query and we need more solution for it, more explanation for it. So I thought of it and I took 3 slide of section 195. Now LB, LC and LD, you have will check it. Some infrastructure government bond interest is there. So all these government related securities are there where NRI have invested, and these all fall under the ambit of 194 LB, LC and LD. So here we are talking about not salary and interest other than these three section. Any other payment, salary, it will be taxed under section 192. Okay. Now coming to second para. The payer, one who pays to the NRI, can be a resident or a non-resident. An individual, HUF, partnership firm, other NRIs, foreign companies, or an AJP, artificial judicial person. Threshold limit. See, in all the sections, apart from 192, we have seen the threshold limit. In section 195, there is no threshold limit. Okay. What are the tax rate? TDS is deducted at either of the following rate. So I've taken in other slide. I will come to it. Just 1 minute. Yeah. So what are the tax rates? So rate as it is given. Okay. Or the given means what? If professional fees are in 194J, 10% is given, but threshold limit will not be applicable. 194HA, then rate is what? 10% for rent, that will be applicable. Okay. So rate is given in that particular section, but for NRI, TDS will be deducted under section 195. Getting it? And threshold will be not applicable. So only we are going to that particular section, which type of services. For example, Mr. Malcolm has provided professional training services to Infosys employee. So professional services उसने पूरा provide किया. So he is a non-resident. He is residing at Germany. He is residing at Germany. So here rate of TDS will be 10%. But under which section Infosys will deduct? Under section 195. Now, apart from that, rate to determine rates containing DTAA agreement. So between India and in our example, between Germany or whatever country where our non-resident or NRI is residing. Okay. We have to check the rates given under the Finance Act are to be increased by applicable surcharge and education cess of 4%. So if income is increasing and if surcharge is applicable, so tax rate plus surcharge plus education cess. And then we will come to that X figure. On that X percentage, we have to deduct the TDS. So, and if the rates have been specifically given in DTAA agreement, then if we are following that DTAA agreement, then whatever rates have been prescribed in that DTAA, we have to deduct TDS on that particular prescribed rate. Okay. Payment of tax deducted at source under this section. Person making payment to non-resident should obtain TAN number. So that our first Mr. Tony's example. So that is now clear with you all before deducting TDS. So it's really important that you should have TAN number. Then you will deduct the TDS. Then you will make the payment of TDS amount. Then you will file your TDS return. And return is a form number 27Q. 27Q is for filing TDS return for deduction under section 195. Apart from it, form number 15 CA, this is compliance part I'm just discussing with you. Form number 15 CA and CB is also required to be issued while remitting amount outside India. So this was the procedure and brief, and we can say brief to section 195. Okay. So now I'll come to my concluding slide. Thank you everyone for patience hearing, and thank you WIMEC Chairman, Vice Chairman for giving me this opportunity to share the knowledge with all the fraternity members. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Yeah, I'll stop my share 1 minute.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jan. Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, thank you. Good afternoon, all. Ma'am, there are few question and answers if we can take.
Janita, we have time for other speaker or one since we are running late or what? Yeah, accordingly
Right.
we can
So
take.
we can take at least 2, 3 questions and then we can, let it off. Like we have 2, 3 questions in hand and we have that much of time.
Okay, then.
Okay. So the first question comes like one house rented as both husband wife are serving draws two rent agreement and pays rent 30,000 each, totaling to rupees 60,000 for one house. Should TDS on rent be deducted? If yes, by both the pays is non-compliance is landlord liable?
So they are a tenant. What I have understood from can you come again with
Question.
that
Yeah.
question?
Yeah. So both husband and wife are serving draws two rent agreement. There are two rent agreement, one house property, and the pays rent 30,000 each to both husband and wife. The total amount of rent is 60,000. That is what I also understand. Okay. And now the main question is they are liable to deduct TDS? And in case of non-compliance, the landlord would be, liable for such a non-compliance? Is the question is.
Yeah. Nee, first of all, what I have understood and how I am interpreting this question, husband wife
Hmm.
both are staying in one tenant property. They are a tenant, right? They are not landlord, or they are landlord.
Right.
They are tenant
No,
from
they
the
are, yes, they are tenant.
but for the one same house property, they have made an agreement with the landlord, and per month each of them are paying 30,000 rupees rent.
30,000 each. Yes.
So that wo 50,000 wala limit is not hit by any
Limit.
of them. Barobar?
Right.
So with that scenario, if your landlord has agreed with you, this is my observation I'm sharing with you, that see, always the liability of making payment when TDS section has been given on the deductor to fulfill the compliance. And in this case, husband and wife, they are a deductor for the
Right.
residential property which they have taken on rented basis from the landlord. But for to come escape that 50,000 wala part, because that 194 we have to make payment on our house property also per month agar 50,000 rupees is exceeding rent amount. So they have made below that amount agreement with them. So here
Right.
TDS will not come. How the landlord is showing in his return of income and how he has agreed with you, that is the different scenario. So he might have shown two different tenants for that particular property. But when it comes to
Correct.
deductor side, and when you are asking from deductor side, then it is below the threshold limit, and then this is not related to 194I. In 194I, I have explained you right now 50,000 per month and 6 lakhs rupees per annum. That is for the where section 194I is heated. But this is the residential property, and where the threshold limit has been given 50,000 rupees per month. If it is exceeding 50,000 rupees per month by a tenant, then it will be heated TDS section. I hope this have fulfill your query. I have been able to give answer to your query.
Yeah. Thank you so much, ma'am. Now, as time doesn't permit, we won't be able to take further questions. Like,
Kankana, 1 minute.
uh,
What you can do, you
yeah,
can mail me that questions. I'll give the solution to WIMEC committee and they will forward to. So if 2, 3 more queries are there, you can mail me. I'll give reply to
surely,
you.
ma'am. Surely, ma'am, we'll do it. So it's my immense pleasure to extend a warm vote of thanks to our distinguished speakers, CA Rupal Haria, for delivering such an insightful and informative session of TDS and TCS. So your expertise, ma'am, has clear explanation of such a complex topics have truly helped us demystify TDS and TCS for all of us. Like it has been very easy for us to understand the topic TDS. And on behalf of WYMEC and all the participants, I extend my sincere gratitude for your time, effort, and clarity in presenting the topic. Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you, Jankna WIMEC Chairman, Vice Chairman, giving me this opportunity, and thank you all my participants also.
Now would request CA Ashwini Doshi to introduce our next speaker, CA Namrata Dhruve. Over to you, ma'am.
Yeah, good afternoon. Today on this session of Yashaswini. Yeah, I'm audible, no? Hello?
Yes, ma'am. Yes,
Yeah.
ma'am. Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am,
Today
you
on
are audible, ma'am.
the session of Yashaswini, we have our second speaker, Namrata Dhruve. She's been practicing since last 14 years. And as we know that when we are practicing parallel and doing multitasking, we have lots many stress also. So she is here to rescue us from that. And she is an emotional healer, parenting coach. She is committed to helping individuals overcome their deep rooted emotional challenges and break free from unhealthy habits. Her mission is to guide people towards life with clarity, inner peace, and emotional freedom. So we have with us today Namrata Dhruve.
Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you for the wonderful introduction. So, am I good to go?
Yeah.
Great, great. So, hello everyone. I would not say a warm good afternoon because it is already hot outside and I don't want to add the more warmth to it. So, a cool and AC related afternoon to everyone. I'm so happy and I'm so glad that, this committee of ours, WYMEC committee, has actually opted to have this non-technical topic with a technical topic. Since last 1 hour, we have been listening to the wonderful sharing by CA Rupal ma'am on TDS and TCS. And I think moving to this era wherein this non-technical topic is standing tall with the technical topic itself shows the importance of emotional well-being, right? Now, why do you all think, or why do we all think? Just reflect on this. Since this is a non-interactive session, I would like you to reflect a lot on the questions which I'm asking you. So, what do you think? What is the importance that is coming up for the emotional well-being? Why emotional well-being is so much important in today's scenario? So, if you reflect and if you see, basically emotional well-being is so much important because only on the emotional well-being of ours we are deriving how we are going to tackle with the situation, how we are interacting with the people, what kind of friends, family, what kind of situations, experiences, opportunities we are attracting in our life, how are we available to the person in front of us. And the most important part is manifestation. We all have been listening to the manifestation part a lot, the visualization and have a vision in front of you, have a vision chart in front of you. But let me tell you one very important thing. Unless and until I am not the person emotionally who is looking forward to manifest that abundance, I will never manifest it. In fact, the kind of friends, life partner, opportunities I attract in my life are completely driven by my emotional well-being. So you will be surprised to know that even though you have high level of IQ, if your EQ, that is the emotional quotient, is less, you will be stuck somewhere in your life. The recent research by or the recent newspaper article said that within India, 23% of the youth is succumb to the depression and anxiety, especially after COVID. And all over world, the figure is 50%, friends. Let me tell you, in one of the session here physically, which we had in PCMC branch of Pune, Miss Rekha Dhamankar, CA Rekha Dhamankar, she was sharing about the importance of, financial freedom for the women. And she shared that only 8% women all over India are financially free. Let me share you one example. When I was reflecting on what she said, I could resonate with few examples which I received through my clients. And one of my clients said me, ma'am, I'm earning a good amount. I'm in IT company. I have a salary of 1,35,000, but I get an allowance of only 35,000 from my husband, and hence I cannot pay your fees. And then I realized that emotional freedom will give you financial freedom. It is not that financial freedom will give you emotional freedom. And that's why this emotional quotient is the base, this emotional well-being is the base of our entire life. How am I living my day? How am I living my lifestyle? What is the choices I'm making day in and day out? Now, if that is so, then what is emotional well-being? I think emotional well-being is very simple. In very simple words, if I have to tell you what is it, it is nothing but how am I feeling about myself in any given situation. It is not even about how am I feeling about the situation, about the person in front of me, or about the circumstances in front of me. It is about how am I feeling about myself in any given situation. अब अगर फीलिंग की बात करें तो बचपन से व्हाट इज आवर वोकैबुलरी ऑफ फीलिंग our vocabulary of feeling is very limited to I'm sad, I'm happy. Oh, sorry, I'm happy, I'm sad. Okay, this way. I'm frustrated, I'm feeling angry, or I'm satisfied. Yeah. So one day morning you wake up and you're feeling good about yourself. Everything is nice, nice breakfast, and also you'll say, yeah, I'm happy today. My emotional well-being is good. Another day, suppose something happened and you're not feeling good, you're sad, and you do not feel like going to office, and someone asks you, hi, how are you? So you say, yeah, I'm not feeling good, I'm feeling sad today. So are this concept of emotional well-being, our vocabulary of this feeling vocabulary, which no institute, no educational institute, no university, no college, no curriculum has taught us basically. This is something which we have actually heard from the people around us while we were being raised maybe. So we just know few very limited words to the part of feeling, that I'm feeling angry, I'm feeling sad, I'm this and I'm that. Now, actual emotional well-being is much beyond this, much deeper than this. And that is what I'm going to talk about today. What exactly emotional well-being means? What is the birthplace of these feelings? What is the birthplace? Where do we store these feelings in our body? Now you must be saying or thinking like कि feeling store क्यों करना है यार? ये थोड़ी ना मेरे पास कोई box है, container है that I have to store my feelings. No, I'm a human body. Why do I have to store my feelings within me? Abhi right now I'm feeling happy. I'm feeling happy. Next moment I'm feeling sad. Okay, I'm feeling sad. Why do I need to store it? So let me give an example. I would like you all to close your eyes for a second. Close your eyes for a second and remember the moment when you first time came to know that you have just cracked this exam of CA final and you have become CA. The most difficult exam of this India, the second largest difficult exam of the world. You have cracked it with lots of efforts. The first call you made to the gudu gudu feeling which you had in your stomach when you were doing that submit button on the laptop, when you had been to that cyber cafe to look at the result. What is the result? Now open your eyes. And how are you feeling? You all must be having that little goosebumps or refreshment of that particular feeling which you had when you saw your CA result, right? And that is what it is called, that we never forget our any of the feelings. They are very much stored within our body. If I ask you to close your eyes and remember your first date with your first loved one, right now also you will get goosebumps, right? It means your body is storing the feelings which you experience through the experience. So experience is the birthplace of the feelings. And where am I storing it? I'm storing it here in my body, right? So if I'm storing it here in my body, and this place is the place wherein, whether it is a negative experience or positive experience, all the results of these experiences, that is all the emotions of these experiences, all the feelings of these experiences, I'm storing within my body. Then reflect on this. Have I ever been taught to process my negative experiences or my negative feelings? तो बचपन से जब भी मुझे गुस्सा आया, मम्मी ने क्या बोला, इतना गुस्सा नहीं करते, चुप हो जाओ, गुस्सा अच्छी बात नहीं है. When I felt sad, my friend said, hey, come on, let's have a cup of coffee, you will feel better. Or maybe I was angry on someone, or I was frustrated on something, I was not getting job or something like that. Then I was told, look at the brighter picture of the life, CA to ban gaye na, kam se kam mil jayegi job, that's fine, just let it go. Watch a movie, you will feel better. Go for a walk or shop something, you will feel better, right? So we were always told to do what? We were never told to process the feeling. See, as far as I have a positive emotion, positive feeling, we all celebrate, right? We all share it with everyone. We all tell everyone that yeah, see, I'm so happy today, this happened, that happened, pata hai, aisa hua, waisa hua. So we are talking it out, we are processing. But when I'm feeling sad, the people around me are telling me it's not okay to feel sad, it's not okay to feel angry, it's not okay to be frustrated, look at the brighter picture of the side. Now let me give you even few more examples. If this is the thing which have been told to us, now reflect on few more examples again. Do you remember that a particular fragrance of the, or particular smell of some deodorant or some perfume reminds you of some particular incident, or it reminds you of a particular person? There is some particular deo, whenever I go to the medical shop which is there near my house, and when I smell that deo, I always get a feeling as if I'm in my hostel days are there, a very chilling days are there. I'm just going out of the hostel, attending CA classes, and then coming back. That kind of life I immediately comes to my mind. Okay, suppose a particular smell of agarbatti reminds you of a particular incident, or a particular person reminds you of something, and if that person always comes in front of you, always feel angry, irritated. यार ये बंदा तो मुझे चलता ही नहीं है, पता नहीं ये सामने आता है ना बंदा, मुझे अच्छा नहीं लगता है. Why do you think that even such old memories do come to you in front of you, even with the sensual purpose, even with the senses? When you sense something, when you smell something, when you go to a particular place, it reminds you of something. This means all the negative experiences or even the positive experiences are stored in our body. Okay, not only they're stored in our body, but the inferences which we draw from these experiences are stored in our subconscious brain and the logical brain also. So one experience is impacting not only your body, but it is impacting for your subconscious brain also and to the logical brain also. It is impacting, one incident in your life is impacting all three areas. That is the body, the subconscious mind, and the logical mind. Now, if that is so, and we have never been taught to, if we have never been taught how to process our feelings, how to actually deal with our negative feelings, and we have always been asked to suppress it, then what is it that is the result that happens because of this? Just reflect on this, that whenever you felt angry, you were told how to reduce your anger. Or whenever you felt sad, you were told how to reduce your sadness. And do you really think asking this how question actually helped you to process the feelings? Reflect on this for a second. If you were feeling really sad because You lost a job, you lost a friend, or there was betrayal, or there was some rejection. Do you think that uh, redirecting your mind into something else, or getting engaged into a movie, or just emotional eating has helped you to process it? Whether this how question, how can I reduce my anger, how can I feel less sad, has actually helped you to process your feelings? Definitely not, right? Because if that would have been the case, it would not have come to my mind again and again how I felt in that situation at that moment in time. So then what is the question we all should have been taught to ask? None of the school, none of the college have ever asked us how to process our feelings and how to ask the right kind of questions when we are having especially negative feelings. The right question to ask is why. Why am I feeling sad? It is not about how I can reduce my sadness. Reflect on this again. When I ask how I can reduce my sadness, I'm working at a superficial level. And when I ask, why am I feeling sad? Then I'm going deeper. Then I'm going deeper and asking myself, what is the root cause of my sadness? And then maybe slowly I'll process that root cause. What is the right question to be asked is, why am I feeling angry? Why am I feeling frustrated? Why am I feeling sad? Why am I feeling confused? Why am I feeling fearful while talking to this person? The why question gives us the root cause. And I think this is the question, friends. Before I go ahead, I would like to share with you um, a small, story of my life also, so that you understand why a chartered accountant chose this path. So when I started asking this why question, maybe 5 to 6 years back, and why I started asking this question, I had always been a good girl, okay? A girl who would never open her mouth, and a very compliant and a good girl for the family. Like my parents would never have any issue with me. Always like her name, Namrata. Namrata is like her name, Namra. And that's why they never had any issues with upbringing, okay? My upbringing as such. So a good girl, a compliant, a studious girl who would always, good score good marks, a first CA in both the families. No other CA was there in both the families. I'm the first CA. Started job with PwC. After that, left PwC, started with my own practice with zero contacts in Pune. Even after having all those things in my life, I was struggling with low confidence. I was struggling with low self-esteem. Talking to strangers was a challenge for me. Going to social functions was a challenge for me. This all started to come up when I got married. I started to project all my insecurities on my husband and started to have frequent fights with him. Lot of expectations, lot of control, lot of micromanagement. And I'm not ashamed to share that, because that was the birth of this Namrata in front of you. The moment I had my child, and by the time he was 1.5 or 2, I started projecting my expectations on him also. By the time he was 4 years of age, I was expecting him to read very nicely. I was expecting him not to commit mistake, and I was very angry young mother. This anger was reflecting in my relationship, and I was breaking my connection with my core family whom I loved, right? My father, my sorry, husband, and my son. And that is how I started asking this why question. Why it is happening now? This was never my core nature. For the 25 years of my life, I have never uttered a single word with anyone. I never entered into any conflict with anyone. I was always a good girl. Then now why? This why actually led me to this inner work, wherein I realized that how we are spending this part of our life, that is the adulthood, has the direct reflection of how our childhood was. Our emotional well-being today has the direct reflection on how our childhood experiences were. And that's why when we are not taught how to, this was never my core nature. Okay, Ashwini Doshi, can you please mute? I'm so sorry to tell you. Sorry, where my hands? Okay. So if this was not my core nature, and if I would not have asked this why question, I would not have been here in front of you today. And I think when we do not ask this why question, the more damage is created. The more damage is created in the form of coping mechanisms. Coping mechanisms is the inferences which we draw of these experiences which we had in our life. Like, for example, suppose one of your best friend, a very best friend, betrayed you in some or other manner, either in your studies or in your personal matter. Your best friend betrayed you for some or other matter. Yeah. Yeah, I will share it now. Yeah. So if one of your friend has betrayed you, and you really had a deep impact because of it, you felt really sad about it, you had a kind of trust on that friend, but this betrayal has given a shake to your trust, then one, you felt sad, that sadness is stored in your body. Second is your subconscious mind has now become more aware while trusting people, and your logical mind says never trust anyone. Friends बनाओ लेकिन किसी को भी इतने हद तक मत बनाओ कि he will have a right to hurt me, right? So one experience had three impacts. One is the sadness which is stored in your body. Whenever this word of, like, best friend or something like comes up, you always have that association with that particular incident. Second is you have decided a coping mechanism that it is not okay to trust anyone blindly. Never trust people for what they show us in front of us. Just be very careful while choosing friends. Like, you develop these coping mechanisms. So what happens is, when we do not ask the why question, when we suppress our feelings in this body is a storage container wherein since childhood you have stored various emotions within you, all the coping mechanisms within you, and they come up in front of you when you start to feel safe. These coping mechanisms are like something which are driving our life. Now let me show you a screen. Now let me share you and let me show you what are those coping mechanisms and what I'm talking about. I hope you all can see my screen. Now the coping mechanisms, okay? What are the different coping mechanisms that we develop? The first is people pleasing. People pleasing is something that I always feel that whomsoever is interacting with me should be happy because of my conversation. Even if I do disagree with that person, even if I don't like that person, even if I'm not able to help that person, still what I'll be doing, I'll be people pleasing. I'll be pleasing this person by this way or that way, because I have inability to say no. Because of some experiences in my life, today I have developed this coping mechanism that I cannot say no to people. I'm always into overthinking. Many people, many women especially, come to me and they tell me that, Namrata, I always get engrossed into overthinking. I do not understand till the time someone touches me or I realize, oh my God, I'm in the office and I'm getting carried away by my thoughts, right? Or being over explaining to something, someone, in order to make sure that that person is not misunderstanding me or that person is taking me rightly. I'm not being judged, okay? Perfectionist is everything needs to be perfect. Have you seen those people who will reject your project till the time every comma, every full stop is not perfect? Just observe those people when they enter inside their living room, they make sure that every cushion on their sofa is kept in a proper angle, as if they have measured the length and the width and the breadth of that sofa, and every pillow needs to be kept like that. Every pen and paper, everything needs to be at its right place, so that I feel that yes, I'm perfectionist. I don't leave a space for the mistake. This is a coping mechanism. Overachiever. I think our this generation, the millennial generation, the you and me who are born into 80s and 90s have this overachiever trauma, and I also have it, let me admit it. What is this overachiever trauma? Is you always feel that I need to keep on achieving, doing. Resting feels like a crime to you. Resting feels like a guilt to you. Even if you rest on Sundays, you feel like, how can I do that? There are so many work that is pending at my home. Full day, I'm not giving a full week. I'm not giving time to my family. I should give time to my family. How can I go for self-care? Overachiever. Everything, whatever you are doing in your life, you are into overachiever mode. Low confidence, maybe overall at all areas in my life I have low confidence, low self-esteem. Like I do not feel good about myself. I do not feel good about how I look, how I dress, how I talk, how I walk, what is my body posture. Overall I have low self-esteem, inability to take a stand. There will be few people around you who would never be able to take stand. Those are the people who get stuck into the toxic relationship, who get stuck into the toxic employment also. They get stuck into such kind of managers wherein since they are not able to take a stand, they end up doing overburdening. They overburden themselves with the work. Avoidance. There are few people who develop this coping mechanism of avoidance wherein they are like continuously avoiding difficult conversation, avoiding emotional conversation, avoiding difficult topics to talk about, or avoiding a certain person as a whole person, or even avoiding to come out of a particular situation where they are stuck into their life. There is another freezing. Few people just freeze into these situations, particular situations. It's not always, but few situations they feel stuck into. Just excuse me, please. You are always into self blame. Okay, no matter what happens, मेरा ही कुछ तो गलत हुआ, मैंने ही कुछ गलती की रहेगी, मैंने ऐसे नहीं करना चाहिए था, मुझे समझ में ही नहीं आता, मेरे तरफ से ही कुछ कमी रह गई होगी. Always into self blame, no matter whether they have put their 100 or 200%. Procrastination is the biggest coping mechanism we develop because of the fact that we fear that if I perform now, I may have to face failure. Or because of the perfectionist attitude, I enter into the procrastination. Or the emotional eating. Now you will find this a lot. Emotional eating, and especially scrolling also. Lot of scrolling to the reels which is happening nowadays. The way youth is getting addicted to the mobile and the screens is one way of coping up with the emotional void which you have within you. The emotional void which you have within you is getting coped up due to with emotional eating or with the scrolling, the mindless scrolling. Hyper independence. Again, this millennial women, you and me, we are hyper independent. मुझे किसी की जरूरत नहीं. I don't need anyone in my life. मैं तो सब कुछ कर सकती हूँ. मेरे को नहीं चाहिए कोई फ्रेंड, मेरे को लाइफ पार्टनर की जरूरत नहीं है, मुझे किसी से कोई लेना देना नहीं है. आई एम हाइपर इंडिपेंडेंट. आई एम इंडिपेंडेंट. हाइपर तो बाद में आता है. आई एम इंडिपेंडेंट. मुझे नहीं जरूरत पड़ती किसी की. This hyper independence is also one of the coping mechanism of few negative feelings which we have experienced in our life, and this has come as a result of it. All of this, whatever I'm showing you on the screen, is the result of some experiences which we had in our life, or negative self-talk all the time. All the time negative self-talk. Like whenever I'm having a talk with myself also, I'm just talking negatively only. So what is the root cause of all these coping mechanisms? What do you think? What is the root cause of all these coping mechanisms? From where do they come from? Because the day when we took birth, we were not having all of these. And mind well, these are not even our core nature, okay? This is the assumed identity we have taken up. This is not who we are. We confuse, friends, we confuse. We confuse our entire existence with this assumed identity which we have taken as a coping mechanism. Okay. So this coping mechanisms is not our core identity. This is the assumed identity. And what is the root cause of it? So today I'm going to just touch upon the two root causes of this, which are, there are no more. In fact, there are only two major root causes of why we develop into some coping mechanisms, or why we even today are suffering because of some emotional turmoil or some trauma. Why are we suffering today? So now you must have understood that the emotional well-being is much beyond. It is much beyond only feeling sad and happy. It is about experiencing all these things. And if I am doing all of these things, let me tell you, friends, one day or other, you are going to hit your rock bottom. Why you are going to hit your rock bottom? Because this is not who you are. Your core identity is different, which has been suppressed for a longer period of time. Okay. Your core identity is suppressed, and this is the assumed identity because of the some experiences in your life. Now, जो मैं हूं ही नहीं वो मैं अगर बनने की कोशिश कर रही हूं तो कितने टाइम तक मैं वो बनी रहूं? जो मैं हूं ही नहीं वो अगर मैं बनने की कोशिश कर रही हूं तो मैं कितने टाइम तक बनी रहूंगी? Like for me, 25 years of life, I was a good girl, which I was not. It was a coping mechanism. तो कितने टाइम तक बनी रहूंगी? 25 साल बाद जब शादी हुई, शादी होने के बाद सामने जब एक बंदा मिला, that is my husband, who was a safe space for me. Now I understood this person is not going to leave me. This person is not going to scold me. Is not going to get angry at me. Then my core nature started to come out, which was suppressed till the age of 25 years of age. We have never experienced, I can give you in writing on a stamp paper that 90% of we have not experienced what our core nature is. We are living a life into the pattern of this adopted identity, assumed identity. So when we do not process this feelings, when we do not process this coping mechanism, because our body is storing all these feelings, these experiences, whether positive or negative, the first thing what happens is when we hit our rock bottom, or by the age of 25 to 30, we start to show symptoms first in our body. Maybe arthritis, maybe a lot of acne. I had a lot of acne when I entered into 25 years of age, lot of acne. Or maybe obesity or backache. So PCOD, PCOS, anxiety, panic attacks, depression. These all are the result of all the suppression which has been happening for a longer period of time, because body is storing it. There is no release. We are not releasing it. We are not processing it, nor we are going to the root cause of it. So today I'm going to speak to you about few root causes from where all of this is coming up from. Okay. I'm going to discuss few of these root causes. So now let's go ahead. So let's understand that one of the greatest root cause of who we are today, how we are feeling about things today, how we are looking at life, how we are looking at people, what kind of beliefs I have, or what kind of assumed identity I have taken up, is because of parental behavior. Now here idea is not to blame our parents. Let's understand one thing very clearly. They did what was best in their control. They did what was best of their awareness. Here now idea is to get this awareness out of sessions like this, and now try to change this generational pattern, break it somewhere, and go ahead with a free, as a free bird, and try to identify who I am, what is my core identity, if this is my assumed identity then. Are you getting my point? So here, whatever I'm discussing is for only getting awareness for your own nature. Okay, why am I like this today? So let's understand what are the few outcomes which happens within us because of the parental behavior. So the first one is parental behavior that is critical. Now, what is critical behavior? That one of the parent may always keep on criticizing for everything. Maybe actual criticism or some sarcastic remark. If you are studying, your parent will be like, "पढ़ाई हो गई क्या? चलो चलो जल्दी करो, ये मत करो, वो करो." Okay? Or you are not writing properly, your handwriting is not right. I told you to sit so many times. I was told you to sit straight. Or why don't you like this subject? Every time giving some critical opinion about whatever you are doing. Whether they mean it or they do not mean it, but they have this habit of always giving this critical opinion about everything what you are doing. Now, when this happens, what happens is, as a child, you always have this loud inner voice in your brain. Whenever, whatever you are doing, you are in a self-doubt. Am I doing right thing? You will cross-check it 100 times. Am I doing it right thing? नहीं ये मैं शायद सही नहीं कर रहा हूँ. शायद मुझे किसी को पूछना चाहिए. There is inability to take decisions. Why there is inability to take decisions? Because whatever you were doing throughout your childhood, the trust was not shown, rather the doubt was shown always on you. And that's how this child perceived that whatever I'm doing is not good enough. I think there is some other way of doing it. I think there is some better way of doing it. I think I always do right. I think I'm not good enough, right? So there is always this loud inner voice within the mind of the child. He's always in a self-doubt, and there is an inability to take decision. Now these things start to come up when child becomes 13, 14, 15, 15, 20, 21 साल का जब बच्चा हो जाता है, these things start to show up, or especially these things start to show up when you enter into your adulthood and start to say separate from your parents, or when you get married, or when you get a child. Why? Because there are major changes which are happening in your body when you are going through these phases of your life. Second behavior is unapproving. So there are some parents who will always say no about something. Like suppose even if during childhood you wanted to go to some picnic, you would think यार जाने दो मम्मी पापा तो मना ही करेंगे, पूछने का मतलब ही नहीं है. You wanted to go to party, जाने दो पूछने का मतलब ही नहीं है. You wanted to go to sleep over, नहीं यार नहीं पूछती हूँ, मम्मा मना करेगी पता ही है. ये क्लास लगानी नहीं, मम्मा मना करेगी पता है. So always unapproving of whatever you are doing. If you're wearing this dress, no, this dress is not good, wear that dress. If you had a short hair, no, short hair, I'm not looking good, have long hair. If you're wearing jeans, no, jeans is not looking good, wear kurta pajama. So always unapproving of your every decision. Now what happens because of that? A child starts to feel something is wrong with me. Because whatever I'm doing, my parents are not happy. Let me tell you, friends, we get this sense of identity from a mother's behavior, and from a father's behavior we get a sense of strength and security in our life. Okay, so when your mother has been unapproving in your life, that is the identity crisis. I don't know what I'm doing. Am I doing right? So there is something wrong with me. There is a fear of judgment which you develop. So even if you do something, you always feel that people are judging you. Okay, because you're not confident from within. You go enter into people pleasing because you think you are not good enough. You enter into the people pleasing. Third is passive aggressive. This is very typical behavior which we found in India. We find in India, wherein a mother especially will have this passive aggressive behavior, wherein when she is not agreeing to something which her husband is saying, or she's not agreeing to something which is happening in a house, she doesn't open her mouth then and there itself. She will give silent treatment to everyone. She will have this grumpy face all the way. She will go to her room. She'll walk into her room. She'll not talk to anyone a lot, but she will burst out on a child for the slightest of the issue. Okay. So here what the child learns, it is not okay to show a true self. That child will also hide its true self. That child will have no emotional regulation because he has seen a parent on two different poles, right? One is giving silent treatment, and at the another end, as soon as she's coming into the room, she's bursting out on the child. So child is looking at the two drastic opposite behavior of a mother maybe, and that itself gives a child no emotional regulation, because child learns emotional regulation only by looking at the parent who is raising them. This is very important. This is very next one is something which we all have faced somewhere in our life, or which we are now facing because of the result of the emotional unavailability of the parents. Now, what does basically emotional unavailability means? That you were provided everything in your life. Okay, you were provided everything in your life. All the materialistic facilities were provided to you. But when you wanted to share something, when you wanted to have that heart-to-heart conversation, when you wanted to give that hug, or when you came back from school and you wanted to share something what happened in the school, or you wanted to have that warmth of that hug from your father or mother. That kind of availability was never there. Those emotional connections, those emotional talks were never there. Having difficult conversation was not there. In fact, the parents were busy in their life and they could not, they thought that everything provided materialistically, I'm taking care of the child. But the biggest thing which we can provide to the child is emotional availability. Now, if the parents were emotionally unavailable, as a child, a person experiences inability to express and regulate because they don't know how to do it, right? They do not understand emotions. They go into the people pleasing attitude. There is apathy. Apathy means they are not able to feel the emotions itself, relate to the emotions. They are in a barat mein aaye hai, sab log dance kar rahe, ye bhi dance kar raha hai banda, but he doesn't know, I'm not feeling that happiness from within. Why am I dancing? There is apathy. These people attract emotionally unavailable partners also. On my social media, I get hundreds of messages from women sharing with me how their partner is emotionally unavailable. And these are the men who are raised by emotionally unavailable parents. And now these daughters have also attracted these men in their life because their parents were also somewhere emotionally unavailable. Because our subconscious mind is always attracting something familiar. Where there is something familiar, we at subconscious level, this is deeply happening. And that's why I said even manifestation is a part of your emotional well-being. The next is codependence of parents. Again, majorly found in India or maybe outside India, wherein one parent, because of whatever reasons, because of the educational background, cultural reasons, or the financial reasons, is codependent on another parent. Now, when the child is actually always looking at this aspect of the dynamics of the family, that wherein my mother or my father is heavily dependent on my another parent, then they somewhere think that it is okay to have weak boundaries in the relationship. That is why you will realize the first example which I gave you, that my husband gives me only 35,000 as a allowance, even if I'm earning 1.35 lakhs. This is the result of weaker boundaries. I do not hold strong boundaries because I do not feel worthy from inside of doing it. I keep giving always and feel suffocated in a relationship. So in a relationship, I'm the one who is always giving emotionally, mentally, physically, financially. Every aspect, I am the one who is always giving. I understand love as a compromise, adjustment, or lashing out at others. So there are both the aspects. See, this child is observing the behavior of even a mother and even a father. So from both of these behaviors, this child is drawing some inferences, interpretations. अपने को थे ना interpretations कहीं पे तो, right? So interpretation खुद नहीं खुद का निकाल लिया इसमें से. So a child is having its own inferences or interpretation from this entire experience which is going through. And this experience, this interpretation is there with him to the lifetime. Till the time he realizes, oh, this is my adopted identity, this is my adopted nature, adopted behavior, it is not my core nature. Few more are there, okay? Controlling or micromanage. This is so much in India, like a mother will control and micromanage. कहाँ गई थी, कितने बजे आई, किसके साथ मिली थी, कितनी देर बात की, वहां पे क्यों खड़ी थी, यहाँ पे क्यों नहीं आई, तुमने ऐसे क्यों किया, तुमने वैसे क्यों किया, कल सुबह तुमने ऐसे बोला था. Even lot of control, either over the husband, or husband is having on the wife, or the wife or the mother is having on the child, or a father is having on the child. Lot of control or micromanagement is there. Then child feels suffocated and starts to become a rebellious child. That's why you will see we generally say that by the time the child is of 12, 13, 14 years of age, he's already out of my hand. These children do not listen to me anymore. Why they do not listen? Because till the age of 10 or 12, you have suffocated this child so much that now they rebel. No more. जो करना है करो, मैं मेरे लाइफ का देख लूंगा क्या करना है. Few procrastinate as there is no room for mistakes. So these people, these parents who micromanage their children, they'll do everything for their child. लाओ बेटा ये बुक में होमवर्क करना है, ऐसे लिखना है, मैं आपकी बुक निकाल के देती हूँ, आपकी बुक खत्म हो गई, आपका ये खत्म हो गया, वो खत्म हो गया, बैग भर के देती हूँ, शूज यहाँ पे रखे, ड्रेस प्रेस करके रखे, everything they will do for their child. And one of my client told me that Namrata had an opportunity to go outside India to study for higher studies, but I did not take that opportunity because I was fearful whether I'll be able to do it or not, because my mother has always done everything for my entire life, even when I was graduating as an engineer. I never remember choosing my college or, selecting my books. Nothing I do remember. And I was fearful. To that extent it hampers you, and this is called procrastinating, as you think there should be no room for mistake, or you don't know how to take decisions, inability to take decisions, you don't know because you have never taken decisions for yourself. There is a pessimist attitude of a parent that is always having negative self-talk, or dull approach towards life, always having some doubt about something, infusing some doubt about an event, about a person, or always thinking negative about everything going on around her. You must have seen that particular auntie in a particular group. अरे यार ये गवर्नमेंट तो कुछ करती नहीं है, अरे यार इतना पढ़ाई करके कोई फायदा नहीं है, ये आईआईएम कर रहे हैं, आईआईटी कर रहे हैं, बट इसका क्या फायदा है, देखो आजकल के तो बच्चे कितने डिप्रेशन में जा रहे हैं, आजकल ये हो रहा है, आजकल वो हो रहा है, ये ऐसा हो रहा है, वैसा हो रहा है. So always this particular parent has a pessimist attitude, and here the child learns to self-sabotage, thinking the worst case scenario always. There are many of us who always think अगर आधा घंटा भी लेट हो गया किसी को आने को, कुछ बुरा तो नहीं हुआ रहेगा, कुछ ऐसा तो नहीं हुआ रहेगा. We always think about the worst case scenario. There is a self-doubt, and this person is never satisfied in life. No matter to what level they achieve in their life, they are never satisfied. Not affectionate. That's especially from a father. When the father is not affectionate, like you do not receive that fatherly love in your life, you become attention seeker, or you think that I don't need anyone in my life. Okay, two extreme poles. See, one is attention seeking, that give me some attention, boss, I'm there in front of you, I'm existing there. Okay, and I don't need anyone in my life. The second is जान दे यार, छोड़ो, नहीं देना है ना attention, मुझे कभी मिला ही नहीं, मुझे किसी की जरूरत ही नहीं है. Or this is like, I just need attention from one person. Those toxic relationship, we say na, obsessive relationship or narcissist behavior, this comes from there. And the last one is not predictable, like you're not sure. हम में से कितने जन बोलते हैं कि जब पप्पा आने का टाइम होता था, we used to go and sit and do our homework. जब पप्पा आने का टाइम होता था तो we used to go and sit somewhere quietly, टीवी बंद कर देते थे, सब कर देते थे, right? Why? Because we were not sure what kind of father is going to walk in today. Will he be in a good mood or will he be in a bad mood? I'm not sure. And in order to develop myself, keep myself safe, I become a good boy or a good girl, right? That good boy, good girl syndrome. Mind is always predicting of something wrong or attracts a partner with the same traits, right? So friends, the first reason how our subconscious brain, logical brain, and even our body gets hampered is this thing. The way how we have spent our first 10, 12, 13 years of our life with our parent or a caretaker. Now you will realize why on every new year, whatever resolutions you make, you're not able to complete it, because we are doing those resolutions only at the logical level, not at the subconscious level, not at the body level. Or why we cannot continue a particular new habit for a longer period of time, because our body is attuned to a particular level of behavior which feels safe to it, which is coming from an old experience. Only working at the logical level, no matter how many self-help books you will read, it will impact you. That's why you need to see those motivational videos again and again. It is so short-lived. वो जब एग्जाम होती है तो संदीप माहेश्वरी याद आते हैं अपने को, राइट? तो हम संदीप माहेश्वरी की वीडियो देखते हैं एंड देन वी बिकम, हाँ चलो चलो पढ़ाई करनी है. Why motivation is not a long lived for us? Why discipline is not long lived for us? why visions and why this new year resolutions we cannot continue. Here you will get the reasons of it. So now I want all of you, okay, sorry, one more is there, very strict. Yeah, so one of the parent is very strict. So if the parent is strict, there is always fear that becomes a constant part of your life. And thinking of the worst case scenario. So many things add to the thinking of worst case scenario. One is the pessimist approach, or not predictable parents, or very strict parents also, right? Now I want you all to do this reflective exercise. Once you go back today from your office or wherever you are, reflect and write down the behavior of your parents and various coping mechanisms which you might have developed. This will give you the reason of your own behaviors. Why I get so irritated on my husband? Why am I always angry with my child? When my child doesn't behave well in public, why do I feel frustrated, irritated? Why I don't like that boss of mine? Why can't I give presentation in front of male community or male seniors? Why I have negative relationship with money? Why? Right? Once you reflect on this and write down, you will start to get answers. So the first way how our assumed identity is created, or how our core nature gets developed, not core nature, the assumed nature gets developed, is the parental behavior. Now, what is the second one? Second one is a belief system. Just like the behavior of our parents creates some impact on us, there is some impact which is created by the words spoken to us only. So like reflect on this. It is difficult to meet good people nowadays. Good girls or good boys don't cry. Fair is beautiful. Maths is a difficult subject. If you have to be in a corporate world, you need to be the part of the politics, okay? Never trust strangers, managers, seniors, or teenagers nowadays are difficult to deal with. Money is evil or hard to earn. Life is full of struggle. Hard work is the key to success. You must work hard to be loved and respected. How many times we have heard these sentences? The moment we hear these sentences from anyone in our environment during childhood or even now today also, it slowly becomes a part of our belief system. Do you see these children? What do you think? Whether these children had taken birth with these sentences? Definitely not. These children had not taken birth with these sentences. These sentences were given to them repetitively by a parent, by a caretaker, by a teacher, by a maid, or by a uncle, by a auntie. Good girl bolo nahi to bad, nahi, hello bolo beta nahi to a bad boy ho. He starts saying, oh, I'm bad boy. Then he starts to go in a people pleasing mode. We never realize it, right? So this child's confidence, this child's entire life is dependent on the words which are spoken to this child. Whatever list we saw right now, these children are not impacted by that list, right? This person, this little fellow who started walking at the age of 1, never thought that walking is a difficult thing, man. Are my मेरे घुटने में इतना ताकत है क्या कि मैं चल सकता हूँ? मुझे नहीं लगता it is developed to an extent that it can bear the weight of my body. Did he think that way, or he just started rolling around? So let's understand a very beautiful thing about a belief system. One is there is a thought which is given to you by anyone, saying you are lazy, maths is a difficult subject, being fair is being beautiful, being tall, dark, and handsome is good, this kind of package is good, this kind of lifestyle is good. So some thought we have taken it from somewhere in our society, from our parents, from our caretakers, from our friends. These thoughts becomes our emotions. When I'm being told that maths is a difficult subject in childhood, I start to feel scary about maths. And whenever I'm studying maths, I have this thought that maths is a difficult subject, और उस डर के साथ जब मैं पढ़ रही हूँ, तो it is becoming difficult for me to understand what I'm reading, because my emotions are overpowering my brain. When this thought is getting driven by emotions, my behavior also gets impacted. And that's why whenever I'm about to receive that maths paper in my hand, everything I go blank, because I'm so much under pressure and I'm so much scared. And now when this behavior comes up, my belief gets strengthened. Yes, maths is a difficult subject, इसीलिए मुझे आया नहीं, इसीलिए मुझे पैनिक अटैक आया, इसीलिए मुझे मैथ्स का हाथ में सब पेपर आते ही मुझे सब ब्लैंक हो गया, मुझे कुछ याद ही नहीं आ रहा था, मैंने कितना पढ़ा था, मुझे कुछ याद ही नहीं आ रहा था. So I reconfirm my belief, and once I reconfirm my belief, I start to operate on an autopilot mode. I start to operate on autopilot mode. So you will reflect, you understand, right from morning selection of your toothpaste till sleeping selection of your night bulb, the color of night bulb is, everything is driven by your belief system. And it is all assumed, adopted. खुद का कुछ नहीं है बॉस, वही बोलना है मुझे. आज खुद को ये सवाल पूछो, मेरा खुद का क्या है, मेरा खुद का क्या थॉट है. So when a person who was told that he is lazy, he goes into self-sabotage mode, he starts to feel guilty. When a person he listens lot of many times, तुम बहुत सेंसिटिव हो यार, ये बहुत जल्दी रो लेती है यार, इसको तो कुछ समझ नहीं आ रहा, इसको बोलो मत यार, ये बोला कि आंख में आंसू इसके रेडी है. When a girl listens to this, she somewhere starts to disconnect from her emotions in adulthood. She starts to disconnect because she starts to think consciously. She reduces her emotional charge on her body, suppresses to a level that she won't cry now. A child who is praised when he performed now becomes a perfectionist, thinking that that is his self-worth. Right? So friends, reflect upon your life and think, what are the coping mechanisms I have developed because of the beliefs which I have built. And I want you to do this second exercise, reflective exercise, is to write down various limiting beliefs which you have in your life with regard to money, beauty, happiness, success, being good, being bad, about love, about parenthood, about money, about everything, and bifurcate it into this. Like, what was your mother's belief with regard to this? What was your father's belief with regard to this? What is the cultural belief which you have received? What is the cultural belief with regard to success, happiness, good, love, about marriage, about sexuality, about money, about beauty? Write what are the cultural beliefs, and now write what are your beliefs. You will find that it is a combination of these three only. We have never learned to challenge these beliefs. Why we have never learned to challenge this belief? Because our subconscious mind is very powerful. Okay, why our subconscious mind is powerful? Because beliefs go and sit into the subconscious brain, and subconscious brain doesn't understand what is future. It just knows now. Okay, it doesn't understand humor, it doesn't understand sarcasm, it takes everything literally. So every word spoken to you is taken literally by you in your childhood, and this subconscious mind builds on habituation. So once you have understood maths is a difficult subject, when you continuously repeated the same experiences based on the belief which you have built, it automatically becomes your fixed belief system here. And there is no difference of right and wrong. So friends, our subconscious brain, I'm just going a little fast because I think we are past of time. So I'm just going a little fast to tell you as to why we cannot let go of adopted beliefs, old beliefs. Why we cannot let go of old limiting beliefs. मैं क्यों जल्दी नहीं उठ पाती हूँ, क्यों मैं अपनी चीजें नहीं change कर पाती हूँ life में, is because subconscious brain's primary function is to keep you safe, make you feel safe. सो जब सुबह 5 बजे उठना है तो सुबह में जब अलार्म बंद कर देती हूँ तो मेरा माइंड मुझे बोलता है सो जाना, रात को वैसे भी लेट हो गया था, 5:15 को उठ जाना. जब 5:15 को उठने की कोशिश करती हूँ, सो जाना, 5 मिनट से क्या हो रहा है, 5:30 बजे भी उठ गए तो भी चलता है, इट्स ओके, यू हैड अ लास्ट डे वाज वेरी हेक्टिक फॉर यू, सो इट्स ओके. सो योर माइंड इज ऑलवेज टेलिंग यू बी सेफ, there is no need to change. That is the primary function of the brain. And our mind is always looking for an evidence to confirm. So when your husband doesn't listen to you, or husband doesn't remember the husband doesn't remember your that you were not well in the morning, and he doesn't remember when he comes back at night that you were not well in the mornings, and then you say, see, my husband never remembers that I was not well, he doesn't take care of me. Okay, this is how your mind is giving you an evidence to remember that you are thinking, right, Namrata, that your husband doesn't take care of you. But then your husband didn't call you throughout the day because he thought you had a headache and he didn't want to disturb you. That is something, if it comes in front of you, you will say, उतना तो करना ही पड़ता है ना यार, उतना तो करेगा ही ना, मेरा सर दर्द हो रहा था, you should not have called. That is common sense. So my mind is always trying to give me an evidence to match to my belief system, and that is its job. There is a RS system in my brain which does this. Okay. It filters the information to match what I already believe, even if it is harmful or untrue, and this is called confirmation bias. In a technical terms, this is called confirmation bias, and only because of the confirmation bias, we are stuck with the old limiting beliefs, which not only impact our decisions, but our relationship and our entire life. So friends, and these belief systems are actually draining us and keeping us into the emotional turmoil. Even if I'm in a toxic relationship, I'm not able to come out. Even if I'm toxic employment, I'm not able to come out. Even if I wanted to say, नहीं मुझे सीए नहीं करना है पापा, मैं नहीं बोल पाई. मुझे बोलना था मुझे इससे शादी करनी है पापा, मुझे नहीं बोल पाई. There are so many things. My MIL is abusive. My husband is abusive. My friend is not listening to me. I have low confidence. I don't want to do that, but still I'm doing. Why? Because my belief system is, अगर मैं सबका सुनूंगी तो ही मैं अच्छी बच्ची हूँ, तो ही मुझे लोग जज नहीं करेंगे, तो ही I'll be termed as a good girl by the society, else they'll gossip around me, about me, right? So we have so many belief systems about ourselves, and this belief system, ultimately confirmation bias takes care of it, and that's why we are unable to break it. And the first step of emotional well-being is to understand from where I have adopted what, that is going to the root cause. That's why I first discuss the root cause in this 45-50 minutes, because you should be aware कि आज मैं जो कर रही हूँ वो आ कहाँ से रहा है, right? Once you're aware about the root cause, then changing it, releasing it from your body, from your subconscious mind and logical mind is a process that definitely you will get help to do it, right? So I'm thankful to this wonderful team of Women and Young Members Association, wherein I have got this opportunity to share my thoughts. And I hope it helps everyone to reflect on just one aspect of our life. If this is my assumed identity, then what is my core identity? Right? So I'll just stop sharing, and I'll just conclude my session by telling you one very small thing which happened just yesterday or day before yesterday. Saurabh from this team sent me, मैम आपका प्रोफाइल भेजो, आपका पिक्चर भेजो, तो मैंने उनको भेजा, ठीक है. And in the name I just wrote Namrata Dhruv. Okay, he called me again and he said, ma'am, CA Namrata Dhruv na. And then I realized I had so much struggle to let go of these two words CA 2 years back. एक इनर फाइट था मेरे अंदर. इतनी पढ़ाई की है नम्रता, क्या इमोशनल हीलर बनना है, ये सब क्या है, 14 साल प्रैक्टिस खुद के बलबूते पे की है, सीए ड्रॉप करना है नम्रता. एंड टुडे when I gave him name, I just gave Namrata Dhruv, and he asked, ma'am CA लगाओ ना, मैं हाँ लगा दो. So that is what emotional well-being is, I guess. And that is what letting go of your assumed identity. Thank you so much.
Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Namrata ma'am. This is CA Palak Tikmani from Thane. Ma'am, heartfelt gratitude to you for such a enlightening session. As women, we are multitasking. So, we face emotional turmoil at any stage of life, right from childhood till where we are today. I'm sure every woman has faced this. So it is of utmost importance, to first basically understand what is emotional well-being, the importance of it. And as you said, that we need to reflect, we need to ask the question why, so that we can understand the root cause, and then we can understand what action we can take, to feel better, or to have a proper mental state. So thank you so much for this insightful session. And this session will have a lasting impression on us, and we will definitely try to prioritize our emotional well-being. We should rather. And also, you have shared with us your own personal experience, and you've shared with us the valuable insights and practical tools to nurture our mental health. We are grateful for your time and efforts. So, ma'am, if you give us the permission, we have received two questions from our participants.
Please.
So, the first question is asked by someone who says that because of one person I'm feeling depressed, even though she doesn't know that she is the reason of my depression. So what should I do to tackle this?
Absolutely. So see, again, it is not about what I should do to tackle this. The right question is, why am I feeling depressed only because of this person? Once you go to the root cause of it, maybe this person has such an impact in my life. That person can be my friend, my mother, my sister, my mother-in-law, whomsoever it may be. And if that person is making you depressed, it means somewhere you are associating your sense of self-worth with what that person feels about you. Now, first of all, try to understand the dynamics of the relationship with this person. Why this person holds so much importance in my life. And why I have given power to this person to derive my sense of self. Why I have given that power, from which experiences it is coming in from. देखो, एक कठपुतली देखते हैं अगर तो उनके स्ट्रिंग्स कहीं बंधे हुए रहते हैं, राइट? I would always like to urge every woman who is listening here is take back those powers which are attached, the strings which are attached, either to X or Y or Z. I know it's not easy, okay? It's not that easy and it's not overnight process also. It is a deep inner work which is required. But just ask yourself, at least identify those people in your life and slowly try to cut those bandages. So very basic question, dear, you need to ask yourself is, why am I feeling depressed only because of this one person? Why I have given power to this one person? What kind of dynamics of the relationship I have with this person? And what is the worst thing that would happen if I let it go? If you write down, the wonderful thing that you can do for yourself is to write down. Writing down gives us a lot of clarity and it rewires our brain also. So write down what is the worst thing that is going to happen if I let go of this need to be validated by this person. I hope this answers.
Wonderfully answered, Namrata ma'am. Another question is how spirituality can help us for emotional well-being.
Definitely. To be very honest, we have been sold spirituality with regard to religiousness. Okay? Spirituality is not religiousness. Spirituality is about the spirit, the soul, understanding yourself. Spirituality is the what is happening here between my 2 ears is the spirituality. Spirituality is what kind of self-talk I am having with myself. Spirituality is how I'm able to accept the present moment as it is. Chanting the name of some god or worshipping some god is the something which is giving us a peace of mind. If that is giving you a peace of mind, please go ahead and do it. But along with that peace of mind, utilize that peace of mind to understand your other aspects of your life, other relationships or other emotional behaviors which you are having, or the generational patterns which you are displaying. So if you are feeling happy within yourself, you're feeling peaceful by doing some spiritual, so-called spiritual or a religious activity of chanting और भगवान के सामने बैठ के आपको खुद को शांत लग रहा है, तो शांत हो जाइए. That is the way. See, meditation, why we do meditation? Because it is the first thing which teaches you to sit with ourselves. We have never been taught to sit with ourselves. And when we sit with God, actually we are sitting with ourselves because God is already within us already. That is what spirituality is, to understand that aham brahmasmi. मैं एक ब्रह्म का खुद मैं एक अवतार हूँ. मैं everyone around me. And then worshipping myself to a level that I'm worshipping a God. So I think once we understand the true meaning of spirituality, and even if you don't understand, you are feeling peaceful now, do it, but try to use that peace in other areas of your life to become more aware. I hope that answers.
Thank you, Namrata ma'am. So we are done with the questions. And now I would like to thank the chairperson of Women and Young Members Excellence Committee, CA Preeti Savla ma'am, for holding this Yashaswini webinar series, because these series are helping so many thousands of women every Wednesday 3 to 5. And we have one technical topic and one non-technical topic so that, it is balanced. So thank you, Preeti ma'am, for these sessions. Thank you, the vice chairperson. Thank you all the coordinators, CA Ashwini Doshi ma'am, for introducing our wonderful speaker, CA Namrata ma'am. And Namrata ma'am, thank you once again on behalf of all the participants who have joined this session today. We would like to thank you for this, learnings which we have from your session today. And hopefully everyone is going to implement these learnings which we had today. And thank you so much all the participants for patiently having devoting your time every Wednesday. So I guess we can end the session today. Thank you, the WEMEC team, the technical staff, Saurabh ji, Ayaz ji. Thank you so much.